Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our March General Membership Meeting. Thank you for taking the time out to join the WIN Committee tonight. Tonight's General Membership Meeting is hosted by the WIN Committee. Our focus is around enhancing leadership roles of women, but we also serve as advocates for issues that affect women and children. So thank you again for taking the time out to join us. I hope that these women inspire you to want to be leaders in your community. I am going to introduce our president, and she's going to share a few things with you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Bishop Paulette Matthews Carter, and I serve as the president of the Syracuse Onondaga NAACP, and I am absolutely overjoyed to welcome all of these wonderful ladies, entrepreneurs here this evening, as well as recognize that this is Women's History Month. And certainly we've tried to do our part in paying tribute and honoring the so many contributions that women have made in the Syracuse community. And even the women that we did honor, there's still so many more. So I definitely want to give a shout out to all of the women who are making it happen in our community. In short, the NAACP, our ultimate mission is to eliminate race-based discrimination. And so having said that, we have a number of committees. Those who are watching, if you want to be involved, we're happy tonight to launch the inauguration of the WIN, Women in the NAACP, which we hope to create a platform and a space for women to grow and to develop and to connect and to learn. And so I definitely want to give a shout out to our new chair, Lakeisha Jones, and her facilitation of tonight. Also, our first Vice President, Latoya Jones, is on, and a few of our other officers. So again, log on to Syracuse NAACP. You'll find out more about membership, and we encourage all of you to be involved. Have a great night.
Thank you. So as I mentioned earlier, Syracuse has a lot of amazing women that are doing things. And tonight's panelists, every business is very unique in its own way. Each lady is going to share. I'm going to give you a brief little intro, but the ladies definitely will have the floor and they will be able to share with you their journey on becoming business owners. It is our hope as we talk tonight that we inspire others to become leaders in their community, leaders in the Syracuse community. These ladies are great examples of what we can do in our Syracuse community. And if you're logged in and you are not a part of Syracuse community, welcome. I hope that they inspire you as well. Our panelists tonight, we do have 6 panelists, and as I said, they are amazing. So I'll start my introductions. Our first lady joining us tonight is Dr. Tashika Gomez. Dr. Tashika Gomez has worked in the Syracuse community for several years. She's currently working as a nurse practitioner who visits your home. But she has also been an RN. She has been an LPN. She has also been a CNA. She has a lot of experience that brought her to be the current owner of Hippity Hop Peds. And later on, she will share some great information with you guys about her journey and about her business. Our second panelist is Ms. Tamika Barnett. She is a native of Syracuse. She's attended several Syracuse schools. I am proud to say that she is also a Syracuse School District Board member. And not only does she do that, but she is the owner of Who Wants Smoke, Barbecue, and Catering, but she also has a day job in the Syracuse Fire Department. So she is already doing things for our community on top of her bringing that awesome food to us. Third panelist is Ms. Shakayla Johnson. She is the proud owner of a dessert company called Worth the Cavity. She is a lifetime resident of the Syracuse community. She is 27 years old, but not only is she a business owner with Sweets and Treats, she is also active in local politics. Our fourth panelist is Rhea Parks. She is a licensed therapist who owns Mind, Body, Spirits, and Marriage Family Therapy. She has experience, and I love it. She has lots of experience with us women. With COVID 2020, we all need a Rhea in our life. So she has a heavy focus with working with women with anxiety, depression, and a host of other things. She has over 10 years experience, and I'm sure she will give you guys some great details into her journey as a business owner. Our fifth young lady is our youngest young lady on the panel. Her name is Morgan, and Morgan is joined by her mom, Marie. Morgan, she may be the youngest, but I'm sure she's going to have some good stuff to share with us from a child's perspective. Morgan is running her business with the help of her mom, Marie, and her dad. So you are going to get a chance to hear how family gets behind a young entrepreneur and help her to live out her dreams. Our final panelist is a young lady who is a Syracuse resident as well. Her name is Cassandra Richardson. She spends her days and her nights working with children. She is very passionate about getting the kids what they need to be successful, whether that is academic, socially, or emotionally, or even if that means they're hanging out with her, having a snack. She is the founder of a great lounge that's going to open this summer, Agape Lounge. So thank you, ladies, for coming and blessing us with your businesses. The first thing that I would like for you guys to share with the community, share your type of business and what drove you, what made you want to create this business in the Syracuse community. And I'll start with Dr. Gomez.
How are you doing? Hopefully it's not too bad in the background. Okay. I started my business, Hippie Hop Peds House Call Service, back last year in May. It's an urgent care service that I provide for children from birth to 18 years of age in the home. So rather than the parent coming out to the urgent care or the ER, I would come to them. Just simple conditions that I come to treat the child for, common colds, earaches, lacerations or anything like that. I can come to the mom or dad instead of them having to travel out. So just try to make the little things convenient for parents. What drove me to that is as I've been practicing, I've noticed a lot of parents have had to bring their child to urgent cares, ERs when they're sick. And they're sent home from daycare, if they're sent home from school and they need that note to return to school, or if the parent is, they're full-time workers, they work all day and their child is sick and then they're tired and they don't want to have to take the child out. So I wanted to give a little bit of convenience to parents. I understand the struggle. Some parents lack transportation. Some parents have children that is just difficult for them to take out to ERs and urgent care. So really wanted to give something back to the parents because I know for myself, if I had a service like this, it would be a really great asset and resource. So that's why I decided to create it or develop it.
Thank you for sharing. And I just want to remind everyone, I'm just going to stop for a second. As the ladies talk, you are more than welcome to go to our chat and put your questions in the chat. Please be specific. If it's a general question for any of the ladies, please say that. If it's a question that specifically you want a specific panelist to answer, please make sure that you say that when you put your message in the chat. We will have time at the end for the ladies to answer your questions. So now, Mrs. Barnett, same question.
I started a business called Who Wants Smoke Barbecue and Catering, which is a local catering business. I think I'm the only female grill master in the area. And in terms of why, I believe that was the second part of the question. Yes. Okay. Honestly, I've prepared meals for a large groups of people pretty much my entire life. I come from a cooking family and we host family celebrations, usually every holiday and every Sunday. And like my grandmother had 11 kids. I got like 45 cousins my age. So when our family get together, it's quite the celebration. On top of that, I ran the Biddy basketball where our banquets at the end of the season, we couldn't really afford to have, when I first started, big banquets at facilities. So I would literally cook all the food and invite the families to come to the Boys and Girls Club, and it was free for everybody. So I was kind of used to cooking on a large scale. And then once the pandemic hit, like people, like I needed an outlet. I believe that when you start a business, it shouldn't appear like work. It shouldn't be strenuous. It should be something that you truly enjoy doing. And so for me, cooking was always my outlet. Like I am completely at peace. I can cook all day by myself in the kitchen with my R&B playing, and I would be completely unbothered. And it doesn't bother me. And when the pandemic hit, like our work schedules changed with remote learning, there was just so much stress. I found myself cooking more and more. And then as I, and then it kind of formed into the business that I have today, the Who Wants Smoke Barbecue and Catering. And people, the community responded to it I had a really good response to it.
Oh, thank you so much. Shakayla, can you share your business and what made you decide to start?
So the name of my business is Worth the Cavity. And I think what made me start was, I ended up losing my job due to the pandemic. So I was home a lot. I was already used to like making desserts, but this was only something I would only do for family, like when they would ask me to make certain things. And then it was actually a family member that actually said to me, like, you need to sell this stuff. This stuff is good. Like people will buy this. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Like ain't nobody gonna buy this. So then I actually just tried it. Mother's Day was coming up. So I just, tried it and it was like, you know what, let me see how this will go. And I ended up doing like a Mother's Day sale and ended up just blowing up from there. And I was just like, whoa, maybe I do need to actually do this. And that's where it turned into. And, I basically wanted to, do something different and not just like, ordinary, desserts. I wanted to do different things that people have never seen before. Also, doing treats late night because, that's when people get the sweet tooth the most is at night. So that's when I start, delivering is at night around 8:00 all the way till 2 a.m.
Okay. That's amazing. So you're the late night treat person. Okay, I didn't know that. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, Rhea?
So my practice is mind, body, and spirit, marriage and family therapy. So I'm a marriage and family therapist. I started my practice last summer, and full transparency, it was COVID and the pandemic that forced me to just literally step out on faith and pray to God that he allows my parachute to catch air, because I have four sons. So I could not manage working a 40-hour work week and attempting to homeschool 4 sons, grades 6th, 4th, 1st, and kindergarten. So I decided, you know what, I need to take control over my life and just have better work-life balance, stuff I tell my clients all the time. So that's why I started the practice.
Okay, Morgan. Morgan, do you want to share your story with us?
Yes. My business name is Very Months. I'm the CEO.
Talk a little louder.
I'm the CEO of Very Much. I make organic treats, roll-ups, jam, lemonade, s'mores, and gummies.
Mm-hmm. And why did you want to start your business, Morgan?
Because I love healthy treats and fruit roll-ups.
Yeah. And so it really started out as something that, we did during the pandemic in July. She loves fruit roll-ups. So I didn't want her eating a whole box of sugary fruit roll-ups. So I'm like, we got to figure out a way to make them. And so she did. And she tried different recipes and started making things her own. And then she made them one time and was like, what did you say?
These are really good. So.
And so we had just like a little pop-up. And it started with pre-orders, we just to encourage her and help her to cultivate her gift. So we had pre-orders and people ordered the fruit roll-ups and then it was July, so it was going to be hot. And she's like, well, why don't we use all the strawberries and blueberries from the fruit roll-ups and make
lemonade. Mm-hmm. The people will be hot.
Mm-hmm. and the lemonade. She was like writing down a recipe and like, oh, how do you soak up 2 peas, 1 pea? And she made this really, really good lemonade. And everybody loved the lemonade, and she's just blossomed from there. So cultivated her gift and just helping her show.
Mommy tried to make me eat regular CMOS, but I didn't really like it. And Mommy mixed it up with the jam, and then I ate it, and Juju ate it with butter.
So kids love her CMOS, her very, very, very CMOS. It's kid approved.
We made gummies made out of CMOS.
CMOS gummies and fruit roll-ups, just to help, just an alternative to help people get that nutrients in.
And our new thing is sour fruit roll-ups.
Oh, and her new thing is sour fruit roll-ups too.
Well, I'm going to say thank you so much, because there's some grown adults that need to eat healthy. So I'm glad to know that we have an option here in Syracuse created by you. I thank you for giving us that healthy option. I'll definitely become a regular. You have now inspired me. Maybe I need to try some of that CMOS. Okay, Cassandra?
Okay, so Agape Lounge is a drop-in program, and we will be offering tutoring services for the kids in our community. It is not open at this moment, so we have not really given out the location. So once again, I'm sorry, we will be offering services for 11 to 18-year-olds in our community. And I am super excited about it because we will be teaching them financial literacy. We will be teaching them how to cook, how to bake, and all of it is on voluntary services. The people who are helping are actually volunteering. None of us are making money off of it, and we will not be charging the children that attend this program. I wanted to start this program because I noticed in my neighborhood personally that there is a need for it. I don't know what happened to our village, but I know that we need to get it back. So I'm just trying to do what I can do to make that possible in my neighborhood. And it's amazing because I truly believe that children know when they're genuine. They know when someone cares about them and they gravitate to that. So after working 2 of my jobs, I come home and there's about 15 kids waiting for me to come outside and play. You know, that's an honor for me because they could be anywhere, but yet they're waiting for me. They understand that they have someone who will listen to them, who will come outside, and I'm not afraid of getting dirty. There are times that I even have to, go in the house and grab the football and, show them my skills because they really feel like females don't know what we're doing. And, not to toot my own horn, but I'm, pretty good at it. So I'm just trying to do my part to get our village back in my community.
Well, thank you so much, because you're absolutely right. You can serve as an example for someone else to help bring back the village and the Syracuse community. So I appreciate that. And I'm sure the community will too once you open. I know that as you ladies started to create your businesses, there definitely was some barriers that came up that may have been things that might have discouraged you or had you second guess. Oh no, can't do this. Please share with me. I'm going to start with Dr. Gomez. Can you share with the audience any barriers that you face as you start to create your business?
The first one is being a woman. I think is difficult in the healthcare field, especially when you're trying to start your own practice. Secondly, being a nurse practitioner, it's not really heard of for nurse practitioners to have their own practice. So, and then there's some pushback sometimes from physicians for that. So, and that barrier. Also, there's no pediatric house call practice in the area, so it's new. And parents have to get connected to you and gain trust with you and in order for them to let you in your home. And I've only been practicing for about 5 years. I did work at the Syracuse Community Health Center, but I don't have a huge network, so that was a barrier. Another barrier was getting contracted with, and it still is, insurance companies. I really wanted to be able to help my community because I know there's a need of having good providers in our community. We get lost in the shuffle, but it's very difficult for contracts to get with insurance companies with my kind of practice because I don't have a brick and mortar. So it's difficult. Although I did just get Fidelis, so that's a good thing. And I'm in the works of trying to get Medicaid so that I can also see Fidelis Medicaid patients. And then being self-pay. So what I've done is I've offered free visits to families without pay just to provide services if they were in need. But there's still those barriers and just getting my name out there and trying to get people, connect with people so that they can see who I am, understand that I'm doing it for the right thing, the right reasons, and not just for, I don't know, maybe money-wise or anything like that, sorry. But those were some of the barriers that I faced.
All right. Tamika?
I faced a few barriers with the launch of Who Wants Smoke. One of the main ones that I'll bring up is the financial barriers because of the way I was launching and the type of business that I was launching and the fact that I didn't already file my taxes for the business. I wasn't eligible for any grants. Like I didn't get any assistance, any funding, and I needed a lot of supplies. So I literally I invested in me and I had to make that hard decision because I worked hard to save money and it's like, do I really want to dump it all into this one business when everybody else is getting tens and thousands of dollars handed to them to start theirs? I had the whole spoiled false sense of it's not fair, like the false sense of entitlement. I just had to tell myself listen, if this is something that I want to do it for me, then one, I need to do it on my timeline. Because people have a way of making you feel like you should be at a certain place at a certain time or do things a certain way. So for me, one of the barriers that I faced was really sitting down and figuring out what's going to work for me financially, I still got bills, I still have a job, and figuring out how, I got $5,000 smokers, I got millions of dollars worth of insurance. And then I wanted to launch in a way that once I launched Who Wants Smoke, I wanted to be able to cater any event that anybody asked me to. I didn't want to have to tell them to wait because I needed more stuff. So one of my barriers was my timeline. I filed my business permit in March, but I didn't actually launch until August because I wanted to wait until I had everything that I needed. And then the second barrier was competition, but I was able to make it positive. So one of the things that I did, because there were so many people opening businesses and selling dinners, is I kind of just reached out to them and asked them things that they struggled with, like what kind of barriers did they have, so that you don't have to make all the mistakes yourself. And people were very open and giving me advice and telling me things that they did wrong, things that they could have did better. And that really helped me and getting to where I wanted to be. And then the third piece was the location. So having a catering permit, you need to find a kitchen that, is qualified to be a kitchen to prepare food for other people via the health department and getting your permits and stuff. And I had a lot of people, usually bars and stuff, that reached out to me that was going to let me use their facility, but I didn't want my business to be contingent of another business. I wanted it to still be independent. If a bar closed, then what happens to Who Wants Smoke? You know what I mean? So I tried to be strategic in the way that I chose the location for where my health permit is going to be based out of. So those are the three things that I got.
Thank you for sharing, Shakayla.
Well, I'm gonna honestly say, my barriers was money as well, but also with me actually trying to find the actual location. A lot of locations that people have been contacting me with are just too big. I don't want to really start that big, and I hate to say that because I don't want to make it seem as if I'm doubting myself, like I can't really take on another too big. But I just want to start off small. I want to see where my business goes. I know I'm doing good right now, out of my home, but I want to see where my business goes. When I start, outside my home. So I haven't been able to find that perfect location. And a lot of people, you contact and they don't contact you back, and so you'll go through that. Back and forth thing. I mess up a lot on dessert, so I'm not perfect. So let me put that out there. Okay. I mess up a lot. So that's money that be wasted. I'd be like, dang, I just messed up this whole batch and then wasted money. So, I go through that a lot as well. Cause I just be like, oh no, this gotta be perfect. Oh no, this gotta be perfect. Oh, I can't have nobody telling me that this was nasty. Oh, I know this gotta be perfect. So, practice makes perfect. I can't say that, you know what I mean? But I have been doing this for a while, but I just, can't have nothing messed up, at least not in the beginning.
Okay.
That's definitely one of the barriers I face.
Okay, Ria.
So for me, full transparency, a huge barrier for me was fear and just doubt. I was having worked in the field for a while, I was very purposeful with making the decision to not panel with insurance companies. So a huge fear of mine was nobody's going to come. I'm going to start this practice. And the moment I tell people that I'm not paneled with insurance companies and that it is an out-of-pocket expense to them, nobody was going to come. Every other therapist that I knew that was in private practice was telling me, you need to get paneled with this insurance company. And throughout my process, I also got discouraged because when I was considering paneling, they don't tell you that a lot of these insurance companies require a certain amount of years post-licensure. So meaning, because to get my license, it was a 2-year process. I had to accrue clinical hours, I had to have supervision, and then I had to take a test. So in order to panel, a lot of companies want you to have at least 5 to 7 years post-licensure. And I was like, I'm not waiting 5 to 7 years. So there was that doubt in the back of my head thinking, nobody's gonna come, and then nobody was going to pay. So that was something I had to get over. And it's still a daily process because honestly, every other day I'm thinking, well, maybe you should reach out because now that we're in the pandemic, the insurance requirements to panel aren't as strict and there's a lot of flexibility now. So even now I have that thought going back and forth, like maybe you should panel, Rhea. So that was a barrier, just the fear and the doubt.
Thank you. Cassandra.
Okay. So the barrier for me was also fear. Fear can paralyze action, and I had to address fear head on. I understood that I couldn't overcome something that I didn't confront. So the moment I realized that fear was actually a barrier, that's when I shifted my mindset. Sometimes you have to just get that reminder that when I was created, I wasn't created with the spirit of fear. I was created with power, love, and a sound mind. And so even with the information that I received on yesterday, that was saying that because we're trying to have this program in a residential AA area where I believe it is needed the most, we may have some zoning setbacks. So if I was still operating in fear, I would have given up because of that. And I got to a place where I understand that my mission is bigger than fear. And this dream is worth fighting for. These kids are worth fighting for. What this program can do for my neighborhood is worth fighting for. So I don't have room for fear. You know, I got work to do. I got to get it done.
And they will really appreciate it for sure. Our last person for this question, Morgan and her mom. You guys have any barriers?
Do you have any barriers? Like what's hard for you?
Yeah.
What's your barrier?
About spreading the fruit roll-ups.
So spreading the fruit roll-ups is her barrier when making the products.
Yeah, because when I spread out the fruit rolls, I make it a circle instead of a square.
Yeah, so that's hard for her. But for me, because I'm a nurse, so this whole business is her business, but being her mom and mompreneur, I'm her momager. So I was really pushed into this role of business and not knowing much about business. So this started out as a pop-up that became a whole, her business, an actual company that she's running. So working a 40+ hour week job and also tending to her business needs and helping her with her business, we've come up against financial barriers as well, because it started out with just pre-orders, and so now, we had the pre-orders that initially funded her business. And now, it's like, okay, how are we going to get this industrial size blender? How are we going to get, the things that it's lemons, but they're organic lemons, so how are we going to get the funding to purchase and continue with organic now that it's winter? Does that change our pricing? So a lot of those things, and keeping her motivated, you know, because one day she wants to play sports, next day she wants to do ballet, you know, but always driving her back to her dream, you know, and what was your start? Why did you start? And keeping her focused in that sense.
And sometimes I want to play with my brother, and I come up with really good ideas.
You do. She does. She comes up with amazing ideas. So just helping her to keep her brain fresh, you know, and you have a ton of ideas and opportunities, but which one, you know, which one do you really want to do? You know, because even as adults, it's like, okay, yeah, I think I want to go to school for here, or I want to be a nurse, or I want to do this. So just really helping her to remember her why and staying focused with that.
You guys have all dropped some very, very important information. I'm taking mental notes because I know even though they're different businesses, the journey was different, but being African-American women and being women in general, some of the barriers are going to be very similar, no matter if our businesses are different. I would love for you guys to share some advice. Share some advice to someone who may be on the fence, someone who may be like some of us, me included, have a little bit of fear with getting out of our own way and starting the business. So I'll start with Dr. Gomez. What advice could you give someone like me who's on the fence?
Don't let fear stop you. You were blessed with a certain gift and a skill, and if you pursue it, you'll be successful. So just fear can be very, I don't know, it can stop you right in your tracks. But if you keep persevering, don't give up, don't let people get in your ear, don't let people dictate things to you. Don't let what others are accomplishing or what they've able to get stop you. Always try to look out for people who are good resources, network yourself, and just build your community of people who want to persevere in life. Once you get around those type of people, the sky's the limit.
That's some great advice. Check in and have the right circle and network. That's a really good key. I appreciate that, and I'm sure somebody else does too in the audience. Tamika, what advice would you give?
I would say the biggest thing, work on your own timeline. Like, don't make people feel like you should be at a certain place or doing a certain thing or it needs to look a certain way. Like they said, like, this is your gift, craft it and make it your own and put it out there how you want it to be presented. And don't cut corners. Like, that's one of the main things. Don't cut corners when it comes to your brand. You always want the best of the best. Like, if you're going to do it, do it. Like, it ain't no half stepping. Like, once you jump, you better be ready to fly, because that's kind of what it is. Like, you can't, once you go, just give it 100%. And then also it's important, again, to communicate with people and to collaborate. Like, one of the best collaborations that I made with Who Wants Smoke is partnering with Very Much Lemonade, because how do you better pair barbecue than with a glass of lemonade? So figuring out what other organizations like can help you, and then you can also help them, because like, it's all about building networks and collaboration and cross references. So I would just say communicate, learn from each other. Don't be afraid to reach out. I reached out to other caterers when I was starting. Like, it's all love for me, like, and then just put your best foot forward.
I love it. Collaboration. I'm hearing collaboration and not being afraid to ask questions of others. I like that one. Rhea, what advice would you give?
Share a couple of things. One, never doubt yourself, because the reality is that we've all held jobs, and the fact that we've all been employed says that we all have certain skill sets that other people see value in, so much value that they're willing to pay you for what you bring to the table. So if someone else sees that in you, trust in yourself that whatever, like that you will bring that value, if not more, to what you're doing, because you're now working for yourself. I would also say, don't be afraid if something goes wrong or if you make a mistake. I tell a lot of my young adult clients, the electricity wasn't invented in one day. Like, he did not get it right on the first time. So even with mistakes, you're able to learn from those, and it pushes you one step closer to whatever you're identifying as success, or whatever you feel is like, I've made it. So don't be afraid to make mistakes, because with each mistake, it puts you closer to getting to that place that you want to be at.
Okay, Morgan and Marie, any advice?
Any advice you want to give to another kid wanting to start a business?
To be brave. Speak your words out, and don't be shy.
Don't be shy. What do you mean by speak your words out?
Like, speak clearly.
Speak clearly. Okay. Yep. And I would say to any mom, you know, who has a child that has a dream or has an idea that they want to flourish, to really, you know, help them, you know, guide them through it, and just be that sounding board for them. You know, give them encouragement, and, you know, really push them to stay the course. And definitely, you know, have them write it down. Write it down, because they'll see it come to pass. She's written down her dreams, and everything that she's written has come to pass, you know, and partner with people, you know, like Tamika said, who are, you know, pushing you and who want to see you win. We have amazing people in Syracuse who, you know, like me, I didn't have any business acumen or knew what, you know, business world was about. So I would highly recommend getting a business coach. I had a business coach, Imani Collins, and also another business person, and Daria Jones. She did Morgan's website. So just people who really push you. And even with Tamika, you know, she didn't have to say, you know, Morgan, you want to come and do this pop-up every time I'm cooking? You know, it is a great combination, but surround yourself with people who want to see you win.
Positive voices. And I hear that you dropped 2 resources in the community. I think that's really great. It's great to hear that there are people in our community that will help you with job coaching. So I think that's a really good gem that you just dropped. Cassandra, do you have any advice?
So it's pretty much piggybacking off of what a lot of them already said. Just know that you're not alone. If you are having those self-doubtful moments, you're not alone. A lot of us have experienced that. But once again, surrounding yourself around people who will build you up. I definitely have a core team who, in those moments of weakness, they remind me of my why. They say, listen, this is what you said. Have people that are going to hold you accountable to the things that you said. And that's pretty much it.
So I'm hearing a lot of positives. Your circles together. If you don't have the experience, reach out for collaborating, ask others who are doing it, how they got started. I hear get a job coach, get over the fear, because you are more than your fear. That's great to hear. I also hear that from every last one of you, no matter what, you ladies persevered. And relating to Rhea, who talked about, we all had a job and we all have these skills, just helping put that in framework. If you are a doubter or you have some fears, I truly believe that will be helpful. My next question is going to be, we learned today that you guys are amazing, and there's a lot of other great women business owners in the Syracuse community. It is Women's History Month, and I'm starting to wonder, there may be people in the community who don't know where to go for a resource to get started. So could you guys share, how did you start your search? Because yeah, you're passionate about this, you know you want this type of business, but is there any resources in the community, in the Syracuse community, that you were able to go to help you get started? I know Marie mentioned too, she mentioned a job coach and someone that helped her with their website. Is there some resources that you personally could share that would be beneficial to other future business leaders in the community? I'll start with Dr. Gomez.
Because there's not a lot of household practices in the area. So I've had to look to it's very prevalent in New York City. So I've had to reach out to people in New York City where they do it. There's some other places where they do it. So it's kind of difficult, but people who currently run a practice are good people to reach out to. I also had a business mentor. His name was James McIntyre. He helped me because, I know how to see patients, but I don't know how to run a business. So a business coach is extremely important sometimes for some people who may not catch on real quick, or just to kind of get your ideas and focus and give you new ways of going about, marketing yourself or building your brand. So, it was kind of difficult for me, but business coach is definitely something a lot of people who are just starting out would definitely be a good resource for people.
Okay. Thank you. Tamika, you've talked a lot about being very comfortable with reaching out to others who were doing the same type of business or very similar business to you. Was there, when you were out looking for your permits or things you needed to get started, like for instance, I heard you mention that you have some very expensive equipment, your smokers or the things that you grill on. Like, how did you know where to go? Like how did you navigate how to get that equipment?
So basically on networks. So I use my entire network of people in the various roles that I play in the community to help me be where I want to be. So as far as finding my smokers and knowing what will be good and what type of pickup truck to buy, I relied solely on my coworkers who are Syracuse firefighters because that's their lane. And I gotta shout Daria out when it comes to the business mind, because just like with Morgan, and Daria has helped me from my campaigns to Who Wants Smoke to Biddy Basketball. She pretty much helped me with all of my websites. And it goes further than websites. It's all
get it in
marketing,
there?
coming up with business plans. She was just really good with reaching the right audiences. And I think that part of it is me having, like, I hang around a wide variety of people. Like, I talk to teenage kids, like, Indaria's in her 20s. I have friends that are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. And I take a little bit from everybody because I think it's important. And then the other thing, the last piece that I did is I actually reached out.
How is it supposed to stand up now? How do it supposed to stand up?
I reached out to Wainwright. I reached out to Shelly. I reached out to all of them before I opened because I didn't know a lot about the paperwork, especially with the workers' comp stuff. And then even LaToya Jones helped me with a W-9. So it's just the people that I'm around every day that I'm having conversations with. Like, they literally helped me put all the pieces of the puzzle together. And I wasn't afraid to say I didn't know. Like, I wasn't afraid at all. Like, honestly, since you want me to do, I'm not sure how to do it. And they kind of just talked me through it.
Okay. So networking and the folks that were around you were very resourceful. So as we listen, think about who's in your circle, who you're connected with, who you're networking with, who's doing a similar business that you'd like to open. And maybe that would be a jumpstart to a great resource for you. Next, Shakayla, do you have any resource that you were able to hook into that you could share?
Yep. So I'm actually gonna give a huge shout out to OCC because, like I said, I'm an OCC student, so they actually helped me out tremendously when I was actually starting a business. Fellow people that I actually was cooking with, things like that. I also SBA, the Small Business Association, they helped me out a lot. But I really would have to give all my praise to actually OCC, being a student and being tapped into a lot of the teachers and just different business people that helped me out a lot with my business.
Ria?
So similar to what Tamika said, I honestly just kind of reached out to my circle. For those people that I'm friends with on Facebook, I'll be real quick to go on Facebook to say, hey, I'm looking for a guru in whatever, please tag, because I'll be the first to say, I don't know everything. And what I don't know, I have no problems saying, I need help. I got this question. Can you point me in the right direction? And I did utilize two coaches. Neither one of them are from here, but the one is Ruth Alyssa. She's out of Rochester. And then I connected with another woman who runs a private practice out of Pennsylvania named Pernella. And honestly, that was just divine connection. I was on Facebook and a random ad just kind of popped up and I was like, oh, what's this? Let me click on this. And so being connected with those who have really been, has really been impactful for me as far as how to grow my business and how to do that with intention and be purposeful about it, and realizing everybody is not my client or everyone is not my customer, and really honing in and what I consider my lane.
Thank you so much. Morgan and Marie, you guys mentioned two people, and I think, can you share the two Syracuse resources that you use? And if you have an additional one, can you add a third?
Yeah, so Imani Collins, she is a business coach here in Syracuse, New York. She's done it for years. She actually is also one of the best beauticians in Syracuse. She's been a beautician for years, but she has a lot of business degrees and different strategies for that. And Daria Jones, everyone should know, and Daria, she should be on your favorites list of contacts. Ricky Brown, also another Syracuse native. Chris Tracy, they're doing a lot with the community right now, and just helping entrepreneurs, people just starting out. What are you doing? What do you like to do? How can we help you to further your business? The Gifford Foundation, look into resources that can really help you. And also just the community, people who share and like and comment and give you good reviews and tell you the good and the bad about your products, but also want to see you go further. So they're sharing your products, they're liking it, they're commenting and promoting your business. The word of mouth is the best way to go. But just, making a quality product. Don't rush yourself. Quality over quantity, at all times. And just really, and I know Tamika probably, she always says, I'm a new entrepreneur, but she's a great resource for us. Like, she's very helpful for Morgan. And just like, she just did an event for Black History Month that served over 300 people. We're used to making lemonade for a small amount of people, but that was a stretch project for Morgan. We squeezed over 200 lemons that time?
Yeah.
And she can do it, so that was just something to stretch her and push her. And she wanted us to be a part of that. So just things like that.
For the record, I did not want that baby to have to squeeze 200 lemons. We spoke about this.
She didn't do it by herself.
That was a lot.
So
she did not do it by herself, but she opened her up to catering large events. So that was good.
And if you guessed it, how many lemons it was, you could have got a gallon of lemonade.
Yeah, so she had a raffle for whoever guessed how many lemons she squeezed.
Okay, I'm loving hearing that. I picked panelists who are already collaborating with each other. So you guys are showing as like role models right now that it's really cool to hook up and link up with other business owners and collaborate at different events. I like hearing how you guys were able to do that in a community, and maybe just hearing the two of you guys do that in the future, we'll start to see other businesses collaborate in the community. Cassandra, do you have some resources or want to talk about your journey for looking for support to get your foundation started?
So I went on Google and I typed in exactly what I was trying to do. And if you could have seen how long and random the words was in that Google search, but I ended up seeing NewYork.gov pop up, and it literally had like a service business page, and you put what you want and stuff starts to show up exactly what you need to do in order to start this type of business. And to be honest with you, I'm going to actually use tonight as a resource. So panelists, please don't, just know that you're going to receive a message from me after this tonight, because I need some help, okay? And you guys are amazing.
I
Yeah,
was
they
just
are.
going to tell you to send me your contact information because I know some people with money that would want to help with the type of work that you're trying to do.
I love it. I love
Look
it.
at this. Thank you.
I love it. And I'm going to be so happy to hear that you guys are sharing, because sharing is caring. And so I appreciate you being brave enough to say that, Cassandra, that you're going to use this as an opportunity, because I don't have any fear either. It's definitely an opportunity for me as well. I hope somebody else is looking, saying the same thing. These ladies are doing great things. Let me talk to them. Let me see what I can get from them and make me a better entrepreneur. My last question, you guys have shared your time. You shared some really great information. I'm not going to lie, it makes me proud as an African-American woman to see you guys doing it. I hope that we have inspired greatness, because we are great. It's Women History Month. I hope that this event, it starts a beginning of change in our community. I hope that the community now sees that there is a committee that's a part of the NAACP that's all about empowering women to be leaders, advocating for women and children's issues. And I hope that they see that we are great. We have great things going on. We have great women in the Syracuse community. I hope that everybody is inspired to do something different when you wake up tomorrow, no matter what it may be, to make a difference in the community. I appreciate you guys sharing your business with all of us. And if I haven't tapped into your business, please believe I will be tapping in. I will be a regular, because I truly believe in supporting African-American business. That's what I do. And so I'll wrap it up by asking you guys to please share some final thoughts as we close up our conversation and we make our way to questions from the audience. Can you please share some final thoughts? What you feel your business can bring to the community? How can the community access your business? And what do you want a future woman leader to know? You are more than welcome to speak from your heart. And I'm going to start backwards this time. So instead of starting with Dr. Gomez, I'm going to start with Cassandra, Agape Lounge.
Okay. Took me for a loop there. But I feel like a lot of times we talk about all of the bad things that's happening in our communities. And I just want to be a person of action. I want to do what I can do for the children in my community. We're going to win my neighborhood back, okay? This is what this is all about. We're going to win this neighborhood back, and we are going to rebuild our village. So that's what I feel like Agape Lounge can bring to the community, that village, that family. So we can, because we're not opening until July 17th, please, everybody mark that down, okay? July 17th. It doesn't matter if it's raining or not. That is the date that was given to me. And that's the date I really want to open up. And so hopefully we're going to have some, barbecue and some lemonade at the grand opening. I can't forget the sweets and,
Definitely pulling up.
So, yes, we're going to be opening July 17th. So right now you can actually access us through Facebook. We have a Facebook page, Agape Lounge Inc. If you type that in on Facebook. We also have a website, but our website is under construction. We will be getting a new one April 1st, but you can look it up at agapelounge.org. And if I could tell someone something, don't give up. Just don't give up. It doesn't matter how many no's you may hear. It doesn't matter. Even with ourselves, sometimes you got to get yourself out the way because you can stop you. And so don't give up and take that leap. Just do it. Nike. Boom. Drop the mic. Yeah.
Thank you. Maria Morgan, any final thoughts, advice, and how can we reach your company?
How can they reach your company? Where?
My website is called www.berrymunch.com.
And she has a Facebook and Instagram page, www.berrymunch, MUNCH. Funny story about that name. So I thought it was much, but she said, no, Mom, it's munch, like how you munch down on a fruit roll up. So
I couldn't really say.
She was losing her teeth, so, but it's munch. Final thoughts. You know, everything you take on is a journey. You know, it's going to be new. There's going to be some ups. There's going to be some downs. But really, I would say our greatest resource, and this is just our household, is prayer. We do not go anywhere or do anything without prayer and allowing, you know, the Father to lead us in our decision making and our connections. The people will literally just come to you. It doesn't matter. If God gave you that dream, if God gave you that vision, it will come to pass. So no matter how small it is, no matter how many people are grilling and cooking and blending and baking, it doesn't matter, because your dream is your dream, and that's for you, right? And it's unique. So
my dream is about unicorns.
Her dream is about unicorns, which it probably is, because she just had a unicorn party last night. So she's not 6, she's 7 now.
Well, thank you for letting us know that you are now officially 7, the youngest business owner that we've all had a chance to meet. I appreciate you for sharing your final thoughts, and we will all be tuning in to become regulars with your business, okay? Ria, any final thoughts, and how can we connect with your business?
So everybody can connect with me. The website is MBSMFT, or Mind, Body, Spirit, MFT.com.
Ria, we can't hear you.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. What was the last thing y'all heard?
So start from the beginning. Start from the beginning.
Okay. So you guys,
You're muted again. Can't hear you.
Okay, we'll let Ria work on her tech issue. I'll move on while Ria's doing that. I'll move on to Shakayla.
So I actually don't have a website yet, but I am on Facebook and I am on Instagram under Worth the Cavity, and Cavity is with a K, because everybody calls me Kayla. Shakayla is my government. Don't tell nobody that. But yes, it is Worth the Cavity. So please definitely stay in tune with me.
Thank you so much. Tamika, any final thoughts, and how can we connect with your business?
Hi, I'm sorry. I have to turn my camera off because I'm running all over my house. But I just wanted to thank you guys for creating this space. That's the first thing I wanted to do. And then also thank you guys for highlighting so many women during Women's History Month, because I learned so much about people that I didn't know, and I really appreciate that. But if you're looking to contact Who Wants Smoke, just follow the smoke. No, just kidding. So I have a website that Daria Jones created at her co-working space on South Salina. It's www.whowantsmokebarbecue.com. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, I'm hosting a pop-up event this Easter. So if people wanted their Easter dinners catered, or if you don't have a big family and you just want a soul food meal just for you, you can pull up and you can get something to eat. I just wanted to piggyback a little bit on what Marie was saying, and just for people to remember that what's for you is for you, and nobody can take that from you. So there's going to be a lot of people, like if you go to the grocery store, there's a whole aisle full of bread. And I promise you, Wonder wasn't worried about none of the other brands. And one of the things that really set well with me is when I was starting and I reached out to Wayne Wright, one of the things he said, he was like, man, don't worry about it. Start your business. He said, because people like what they like. What's for you will be for you. Some people are just not going to like your food. He's like, some people are just not going to like what I'm cooking. And that's what it is. It's over 145,000 people in Syracuse. He's like, they got to eat. So basically what I take away from that is like, people that are going to support you, they're going to like you, but also accept the fact that everybody's not going to like your product and that your product is not for everybody, but still move. That doesn't mean that your product is not good. Just keep pushing forward and, and putting your best foot forward.
Thank you so much. Ria, your final thoughts?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm gonna talk real quick because I don't know what's going on with my volume. So people can find me at mbsmft.com or Mind, Body, Spirit, MFT. I'm on Instagram and Twitter, The Black Therapist, BLK. You can find me on Facebook at the business name Mind, Body, and Spirit, Marriage and Family Therapy. Similar to what some of the other ladies said, what's for you is for you. If God called you to it, He's going to allow you to flourish in that lane, and people are called to you and people are going to be connected to you and they will find you. So trust your process. Whatever that is, just trust it and be okay and know that you'll be successful.
Thank you so much. And Dr. Gomez, any final thoughts, or how can we connect with your business?
Everything that everyone said, I definitely agree with. Just don't ever give up. I started in the healthcare field a long time ago. Had my first child when I was young, and a lot of people didn't think that I was going to amount to much in my life. So don't ever let anyone get in your ear about what you can do and what you can accomplish in life. So definitely keep pushing it forward. Believe in yourself, trust in God, and always have faith. So you'll get where you need to go. So, and I want to thank you guys for introducing me to all these wonderful women. I was floored at how many great women we had in Syracuse and what they're doing and what they've been able to achieve, especially the young lady Morgan. That really melted my heart, because that's beautiful. But you can get in touch with me. I'm on Facebook at Hippie Hot Peas. Website is hippiehotpeas.com. And I'm also on Instagram. So at Dr. Gomez 81. So hopefully I can be an asset to the community. I think it's a good thing for kids to see positive role models and leaders in our community. And this panel of women and the women that you guys celebrated are just a great example of how we can really push motivation and positivity in our community. So thank you for inviting me.
I thank you guys so much. I'm going to be totally honest with you. If you're not my friend on Facebook, we will be friends by tonight, because I am a part of the community and I am going to share you with the rest of the community. So whoever is my friend is going to get to see the amazing people that were on the panel tonight. And I thank every last one of you guys for sharing your talent, your business with the world, your time tonight. I really appreciate you. I'm sure the audience appreciate the knowledge that you guys dropped. So I'm going to say thank you for attending our WIN event. I hope that we've knocked down some barriers to entrepreneurship, and there's some women out there that are ready to roll. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a good night. We are closing our general